Hi, it's my second video in this series about self-care, and I still don't believe that I'm doing YouTube. It's really very hard for me to sit there and talk to my phone. I really like talking to people, but without feedback, just staring at my own image on the screen. It's really very hard, but I'm trying. My friends have been telling me for years that I should share with people my experience and my knowledge, and that's why I started actually writing my book. But still it feels weird to me because I really don't feel like God put me on earth in order to tell other people how to live their lives. It's not me. But yeah, the last thing really I want to be is some kind of guru. The interesting thing about the word guru, though, is that in Indian it means guide, just guide. It's like it can be a person you hire to get you through some wilderness from one village to another, or it can be just a book that has some information like guru of local businesses, like guide of local businesses. And I kind of can relate to that because though my books are all very adventurous and they have a grabbing plot, I put a lot of information there, kind of guide style, and it's all about how to how to be happy, pretty much, how to learn to understand ourselves. So I promised to talk a little bit about yoga, a little bit more about yoga, and that has everything to do with understanding ourselves, because without really seeing how our mind works, we don't even know what we need for happiness often. I have seen it quite a bit, actually, that the advantage of being older, that people, we grow up and our environment tells us what we should want, what is supposed to make us happy. And I have seen a lot of people achieving all their goals in their mid-30s or early 40s, and suddenly realizing that something is wrong with the picture. I'm not happy. And then they start trying to figure out what went wrong. And often, actually, it's the story of my life as well. Not like I achieved everything, but I really got where I thought I should be happy, but I wasn't. So it takes a lot of work to understand yourself and to figure out what you need for happiness. And you're lucky if you actually get all the things that you wanted and then realize it was not what you need. Sometimes people spend their whole lives chasing the goals that will not bring them happiness. And it's pretty hard process. And one of the reasons I'm writing about it and talking about it is that I wish that somebody told me when I was younger about things that I know now, that somebody pointed me in the right direction, that somebody wrote a book with some information that could have helped me. It's pretty tough for everybody just trying to to find out what's the problem with life, why aren't we happy, and we blame our parents, and we blame the situation in life, and we blame society in general, and we blame ourselves for not being able to control our life the right way, for not being able to achieve all those things we think are going to make us happy. And it takes a long time to realize that we can't really control everything in life, but we definitely can control ourselves. We can control our attitude towards things. And if somebody told it, and people were actually telling it, I guess, to me in my 20s, like, control yourself, change your attitude. And of course, you think, like, oh, get off my case. I'm sick and tired of all this control thing. And only as you get older and hopefully wiser, you understand that control is not really what you think it is. It's not some kind of harsh thing that has to do with military discipline. It is not some kind of deprivation. It is very simple. It's just an ability to see what really is going on in your head and in your heart, and an ability to figure out what you really and truly want in your life, and then an ability to make a choice of action that would lead you towards those goals, towards those things that are really important for you. That's really not something horrible and restrictive, but it is something very hard to achieve. It takes a long time, and that brings me back to yoga. I really and truly believe that yoga is a very good place to start looking at yourself. There is something about even just plain asanas, plain physical part of yoga, exercise part of yoga, that focuses you on yourself, on what you're doing and what you are thinking while you are doing it. And quite a few of yoga teachers actually try to get their students to pay attention to certain things. They talk to you at the beginning of the class, and they talk to you about focusing on your breathing. And that's, I think, very good and rather gentle way of learning how to observe yourself, to see what's happening to you. Sometimes when we are young, we don't even realize that there are always two things going on in our heads. One is we are living the story of the moment. We are thinking about what's going on. We identify with our emotions. But there is almost always that observer present in the back of our mind, that part of us that's watching what's happening to us. And that is the one that we need to bring up more often if we want to learn something about ourselves. And that's where yoga can be very helpful. But I need to explain a little bit about yoga. There is a good book, by the way. It's called Yoga for the Three Stages of Life. It's more about people who already practice yoga, but it talks about differences, what you might want to do when you are younger and when you are in your 30s or 40s and when you get older. It's a very different yoga that you do. I have taken a lot of workshops by Gary Kravtsov, the founder of American Vini Yoga Institute. And I have mentioned him before. Just a disclaimer, I am not affiliated with American Vini Yoga Institute. I'm not trying to promote them for some kind of financial reasons. Though I have a dream that one day when I'm old, I will get certified as a therapeutic yoga teacher and will teach it to other people, old people like me. But definitely won't find time to do it in the next 10 years at least. Not that old yet. Anyway, uh, so Gary is really good at talking about these different aspects of yoga. Yoga as a form of exercise, and yoga as physical therapy, and yoga as a philosophy, guiding philosophy of life. And he likes to ask his group a question: what is more important for you, a bicep or a liver? And interestingly, a lot of young people tend to think that it's a bicep. But as you get a little bit older, the answer is immediately liver. And then he talks about differences between practicing just yoga poses, asanas, and practicing it with breathing techniques that are specifically targeting certain health issues, and how to make yoga into the therapy that is specifically directed towards your own health issues. And after you kind of digested that big information, you come to the next part of the workshop, and he asks, what's more important, your liver or happiness? And that's a very provocative question. You think first that surely I need a good liver to be happy, but then there have been that research that shows that as people get older, they tend to get happier. So very often older people whose health is not that good are actually happier than young and healthy people, which means that you can be happy and not so very healthy, and happiness is more important than liver. But the point is that the next stage of yoga practice is practicing meditation, and you practice it as a part of your whole yoga thing. Once you start paying a little bit attention of what's going on with you while you're doing yoga or not doing yoga, that's already the beginning of meditation. When I was younger, I thought that meditation was something that Buddhist monks did in the forest. And then meditation became kind of popular buzzword, and now everybody thinks that meditation, it's about relaxation. My mother usually says, nodding wisely, yeah, you need to relax. Yeah, I'm glad you're doing meditation. But meditation is much more than that, and it's not necessarily something complicated. It's actually just working with your mind, working with your head, learning what's going on in your brain. And as a part of yoga practice, it can be very effective, but you don't have to do yoga in order to meditate. But I think I will do an addition, the next part of this self-care series about meditation, because it's a separate topic. There are many different kinds of meditation, and they lead to different results. So I'm wishing you all good luck in everything. Stay healthy and take good care of yourself. Thank you for watching Winter Books.